Hey everyone, you are tuning into the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for The Voice. We are back for Season 12. Tonight we're going to be talking blind auditions. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for The Voice. We are back for Season 12. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so happy to be back.
This is the first show.
This is our first show.
I'm happy to join you guys.
Yeah, we have a full...
Look, she's totally new.
We have a new panel. So, as always, I'm your host. My name is Dani Golub. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dani Golub. And my fellow panelists, two of which have been here before, and we have a new face. Where can they find you?
I'm Dani Golub's minion. My name is Chris Howard.
He's learned his place finally.
Yeah, that's what she says. You can find me at Chris Howard Live on Twitter and Instagram.
You joined me as a minion?
Yeah, we're Team Minion.
We're all minions. We're all Dani's minions. And I'm Nataly Tavidian, everybody, and you can find me everywhere at Nataly Tavidian.
Hey guys, I'm happy to join. My name is Brooke Lacey, and you can find me on all social media at Brooke Lacey H.
And side note, Brooke is actually a very talented singer, so we're gonna have some good vocal insight tonight.
Everybody sings in the shower.
I love to sing, but I wouldn't say I'm the most talented singer, so it's gonna be really nice to have an accredited source this season here with us.
Accredited singer, and the H stands for hamburger.
Yes. Brooke Hamburger Lacey.
Go figure.
Lacey hamburger.
Yes.
You are what you eat.
Okay, so let's talk about tonight. The first episode of the season. We have Blake, Adam, Alicia, and then we have Gwen back.
Gwen.
And we got to see a lot of Gwen and Blake romance. He even called her his girlfriend. What do we feel about the romance?
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh. Because, okay, I think it's really cute, but I was reading a lot of the comments, and some people, like on the, the Voice's Facebook page and Twitter handle and everything, some people think it's a little much with the Blake and Gwen stuff. What do you guys think?
It's cute to a point. Like at the beginning, I think we're all anxious to see
how they're going
to handle it. But then, towards the end, there were a couple times when they were clearly, when Blake normally would have been like head to head with somebody fighting, he's like, oh no, you take her. And I was like, oh god.
It's still a competition, you know?
Well, but it plays out from a competition perspective because he's going to help her, so it's almost like alliances, you know?
Yeah, now alliances are forming. I feel like Alicia and Adam have
Alicia and Adam should hook up.
They're not, because
hook
at
up.
one point the three of them...
Yeah, Alicia, Adam, and... it was Alicia, Blake, and Gwen were all on one team, and then Adam was like...
And then
Adam was the outsider.
At some point, they should have a fight, switch partners.
Yeah, they should all switch up teams. It's going to be a fun season to
have
watch.
A male perspective.
Yes. It's going to be fun to see how this all plays out. It's going to be fun to see them be cutesy together. But I hope we still focus on the competition and the talent, and we don't take away from the artist because of that. I don't want that to overshadow anything. But the first artist up tonight was Jay Chosen, 29-year-old from Atlanta, Georgia. He works with special needs students, and he has a son. He sang Sexual Healing, which is what we opened with by Marvin Gaye, and he got the first 4-chair turn of the night. What did you guys think of him?
I loved him.
Yeah.
I think he really set the bar high. And so after that, I was still holding on to Jay Holden. But
Chosen.
Chosen. Thank you.
But you can hold the chosen one, right?
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
No, I loved him. I thought it was beautiful. And I also just love his backstory too.
I loved his backstory. Yeah, it's one of those this might have not happened. He was a basketball player who got injured, and it may have never happened. I feel like we had a couple of stories like that today. I loved how Gwen fought for him.
She did, and
she had a good argument.
She had a great argument, and Gwen actually won him, which was she was even shocked by, because I feel like in the 4-chair turns in the past, Gwen didn't always come out on top. So
it was a weird choice for him to make. Let's say it's an unusual choice, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But sometimes that's beneficial, because we had Paxton in here last season. We had him on as a guest, and he was saying that he chose the choice that he chose Team Blake.
That would expand him, right?
Which he thought that he's like, if I was the one R&B artist on Blake's team, the likelihood of me going farther seems more realistic than if I was, just another R&B artist on Pharrell's team.
Strategy.
So I think that maybe Jay was being strategic by choosing Gwen. Like, he knows he's going to be a front runner.
You know what I thought? When I heard him make that choice, I thought, this guy is so confident in his singing. He's so confident in his technique. And
he doesn't need
he nailed it.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I'll take Gwen.
They need me.
I mean, if that's a consolation prize, she's like the biggest pop star. But yeah, she's great. I'm very excited to see her work with him. Next up was Lauren Duski, the 25-year-old from Michigan. She moved to Nashville, sings country music. You know, her family was all the dentists, I believe. So she kind of was doing something out of her comfort zone. And Adam turned like right away when he heard her voice, like first 5 seconds. And I love watching Carson with the families. He was like jumping up and down with them. So cute.
He's like the camera. Yes, that's her.
Yes, so good, so good. So Blake, Adam, and Gwen turned for her.
This is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah,
I love. She sang "Jewel, You Were Meant for Me."
Yeah,
really beautiful song. I think she did a great job with it. I felt like she's performed before, and I felt like she really like felt the performance. Aside from just singing it, you know, I really felt it. So yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
and the fact that she slowed it down to really accentuate things that weren't in the original cover, or what do you call it, the original song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was
nice
amazing.
to
She
make
did
it
amazing.
your own.
Yeah, she owned it. Yeah.
And then she chose Blake to be on Blake's team, and it was funny because Gwen had just a little quote after. She goes, "It's okay, I chose Blake too." I was like, that was kind of
that one was
those ones
was
are cute. There's like
Yeah.
some cute rapport, but like it gets to the point where it's a little much in this, but I loved that one.
I never felt like it was a little much, so it didn't do my head in.
I think that for the most part it was okay. I think that the only thing I didn't love was when they started to like play teams a little bit and start to not go head to head in that competition aspect of it. But it'll start to be interesting when they can steal from each other and stuff.
Right.
So that'll make the game a little bit more fun.
Well,
down the
I
road.
was surprised with her because I know in the beginning she said that she was wanting Gwen. Like she said if everybody turns around that she was hoping Gwen would, and then so I was really shocked.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I was and wasn't shocked. Like
They often don't always pick the one that they think that they're gonna pick, because in that moment when they can like really pitch themselves to you, sometimes they win you over. Like I mean, Jay, I don't think probably would have guessed he was gonna choose Gwen, but she really threw it all out on the line, and so I think it just worked out.
Yeah, she did. She was going Gwen. I thought for sure she was gonna say Gwen, and then the country in her kicked in or something.
Yeah, I think it made sense, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think Gwen is really competitive.
And I think she's going to pull through
really
this
fought
season. Yeah.
for a lot of the people she got. She was fighting for Lauren.
She called herself the 4-chair turn queen, so we'll see.
Gwen also looked stunning tonight. I mean, I'm such a
amazing.
girl when it comes to fashion.
Beautiful.
I was like,
my God.
The silver with the big ponytail, yeah, she looked
And when
absolutely
she
perfect.
ran over, I saw on on Instagram or something, they had this little clip of her running over to Blake at one point. I think she said, "You're so cute" or something like that.
Sweet.
But you can see through the dress, so it's like you can kind of see the backside going through. It's like, okay, now I know why they took that clip. And they just played it over and over and over again.
Chris.
Moving
on to Johnny,
guys' perspective.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love having Chris's perspective.
Next up, we had Johnny Hayes, 29-year-old from Mobile, Alabama. He is back from last season. We saw him audition and did not make it through. He sang "Try a Little Tenderness" by Otis Redding, and his wife and him fell in love to this song, which was so sweet. Adam and Gwen both turned for him. What did you guys think of him?
He sang to his wife. You know I love every single time an artist picks a woman to sing to, or it's usually the man singing to the woman. You know, I love those. Those are my favorite.
Josh Gallagher from last season.
Yeah.
No, he was. It was really sweet. I like nitpicking when he was doing the Yaz at the beginning. Some of them were like a little. Like from a technical standpoint, I felt like they were a little off, and they weren't as like crisp and
that may have been when he only
got
like 2 chair turns rather than 4. You know.
Yeah. But overall, I really liked his tone, and I think he also. I know it is about the voice, but it's also, let's be honest, about the full package, especially in the industry.
At a certain point.
So I thought he had a really cute style, and you know, I agree. I think it was a good choice. He ended up going with Adam. So
he was good. I agree with you too. It was like technically not nearly as sharp as the first guy that came out, or,
right?
But good. He did it. It was a good rendition.
He was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was.
He was
fun to watch.
And Alicia gave him advice last season.
Right.
And he seemed to have followed it. Be more him.
And he's on Team Adam now, which is great. That was Adam's first Artist of the Year, so it'll be exciting to see. Next up was Skylar Harris, 25-year-old from Tennessee. She is a police officer and wanted to be on Team Alicia, and she sang "One and Only" by Adele. And Adele is one of those ones that is rough to cover.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Unfortunately, she didn't get any chair turns, and they told her to come back, and I really hope she does. I hope she's one of those ones that is like Johnny from before her that will come back, because I really loved her voice, and I loved her story about, you know, the domestic abuse and everything, and I think that she just was nervous, and you could tell a little bit in her voice. What do you guys think?
I totally agree with that. I really liked Skylar. I am a huge Adele fan, and a lot of Adele's songs kind of, it gives you chills, it takes you somewhere, and I feel like as pretty as her voice was, she could use a coach. I think that'll really work to her advantage. So I do totally agree. She should definitely come back, but I didn't feel it. I did not feel the performance.
Yeah, beautiful voice. I think the thing that I love most about artists, you know, artists that you really remember, is you might not know the song or have never heard it before, but you can instantly be like, oh, Adam Levine's a great example. Like, I could never have known any of his newest songs, and I could pick it out, like, just because he has a really unique,
That was him.
his voice.
you know, style and voice. And with her, although it's beautiful, it wasn't something that I would necessarily remember and be like, oh, that was definitely a Skylar piece, or it was pretty. Don't get me wrong. I feel mean for saying it, but it just wasn't for me memorable or.
Well, no, I mean, no chairs turned, so I'm sure that they agreed with you. You know.
And I know I saw where Blake said at one point at the end she was a little bit under pitch, which I agreed with. So. I feel like the bearer of bad news.
I really like having you here.
I'm not mean, I swear.
No,
She was just
helpful.
kind of totally flat, but
Well, no, I mean, she didn't get any chair turns, so like it's not. I mean, she has obviously some work to do, but I hope she comes back. I still think it was a great performance, and I think there's a lot of pressure getting up there in front of those four huge superstars, and so to be able to get up there and do it all is a huge accomplishment in itself. And she brought awareness to a really important cause, which I think was great.
So brave.
To bring any of that kind of stuff to the forefront, it takes a lot of courage, and big kudos to her for that.
But you have a point there. I mean, these are four superstars, so to be in that position
in their industry,
has
you know?
got to be intimidating.
No, anybody, I feel like, when you could be phenomenal and you would crack under the pressure of just being in front of them.
Even just like talking to my boss at work, sometimes I get nervous. So like I can't imagine talking.
You're sitting next to me. You're like, oh,
Everyone go and sing to your boss tomorrow at work and see how
I'll go
you
sing
do.
him. I'll see if he gives me a chair turn.
There you go.
Next up was her name. I hope I don't mess it up. Nataly Villaranda, 16-year-old from Temecula, California. Like a ton of energy in size 4'9".
So
like
much energy.
She's bite size, fun size, you name it. She sang "Runaway Baby" by Bruno Mars, and
Awesome song.
she got a 4-chair turn. And it was amazing to see Carson jumping up and down with that Filipino family. He like became one of them. His face like lit up for her. She was just like. The full package, the energy, everything was there. What do you guys think of this one?
I loved her. I really loved her, but I was kind of getting nervous because they took forever to turn.
Yeah, they did take a while for her to turn.
I call her a performer. She was cute.
She does have a big stage presence.
Okay, well, back
Here
to
she goes.
the Debbie
I might
Downer
agree
here.
with you, because I will say for a 4-chair turn, I was a bit underwhelmed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
obviously.
this is The Voice.
She's 16, so that's phenomenal. I mean, she clearly has talent. I'm not taking that away. But for me, it was a little bit like
how do I word this?
Like, I feel like she knows she's very talented, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like it was very much like, and now I'm going to throw out this trick, and now I'm going to sing this note. And in today's age, where I feel like every singer is just famous for like hitting a high cue, like I want there to be more than just a lot of tricks up your sleeve, because there are a ton of people that can sing really well like that, but I think there just needs to be a little more authenticity to it.
I mean, the 4-chair turns for me are like the Jordan Smith, Allison Porters. Like, I want to be blown away and knock your socks off. Like, gonna win this competition. And I don't know if I felt that way about her. I was a little bit. I would say I think she absolutely deserves to go through, and she definitely deserves to be on a team. Do I think it warranted a 4-chair turn in a big fight? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I agree.
What do you think, Chris?
No, I agree, because we were talking about this earlier. It's like where the person's just kind of too cool for school. Like there just wasn't that real connect. There's a realness that gets lost in the mix.
Yeah,
and authenticity.
Especially at that young of an age, if you're
It's
already
it's
very
pretty
LA.
early, yeah.
That sounds horrible. I'm sorry.
Very LA. Okay, now just say it. You mean we're pretentious in LA? Is that what you're trying to say?
Just representing California here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That West Side, East Side?
LA.
Oh, LA.
Just repping it. Anyway, yeah, so she is on Team Alicia, which will be fun to see Alicia work with a young artist. I haven't really seen Alicia dig into that, young pop star girl thing yet, so it'll be fun to see. And Alicia started, like she said, when she was like 14, so it'll be great to see her it'd be nice to see Alicia kind of like polish and humble her a little bit, which I think will be great.
Humble her.
Like, I don't even know if it's like, she just has a lot of energy, you know what I mean? And I feel like she doesn't even know how to control it yet because she's so young and was so excited that I feel like if an Alicia can like kind of tone her down and like give her more of like a unique sound and like it would be interesting to see how she polishes her.
Because when you think about that the attitude could also come from a place of feeling inadequate. So
she needs the
it's like
coaching.
with the right,
absolutely, especially at that age.
Sometimes
it's perceived as one thing, exactly, but it could be something else.
And I'm sure she's lovely. I don't know her, so
I'm
I'm
sure
she is.
But
But
happy to have you
when you
here.
say that she's totally egotistic and stuff, like your point is well taken. But
Someone's about to twist all our words right now. That is not what we're saying.
We love
joking.
Natalia. We think she's
That's
great.
not what she said.
I'm very excited to see where she goes in the competition for sure. I think she has potential to go very far, as do the coaches, And it's the kind of thing where sometimes I feel like talent doesn't always transcend through a TV screen. Like, we weren't there in person. We didn't hear that. That performance got 4 chairs for a reason. So like maybe it really blew everyone away, which I hope we see more of that from her coming up.
I think she's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong.
Really is.
Just I wrote in my notes before. I was like, oh, I definitely see her on Team Gwen. Like
Interesting, yeah.
But I think it'll be cool to see her.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what Alicia can do with her. Next up was Stephanie Rice, 27-year-old from Texas. She is the one who came out as a lesbian to her pastor father and was basically disowned by her family at a pretty young age. She's now engaged to this like really lovely, cute woman, and it seems like she's kind of like found that love back in her life again in a different place. But she's like a scientist who does like HIV research, and it's just kind of badass. So she sang Piece by Piece by Kelly Clarkson, which I think was a very appropriate song for her because it reflected on her personal experiences. What did you guys think of her?
And you can totally tell she sang from the heart.
Yes.
And I liked her. I thought she had a very unique look, a unique voice, a unique style. So, yeah. I'm going to watch her.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, she's from Texas. Whoop whoop. I'm from Texas, so I had a place in my heart for her from the beginning. And I know culturally it can be different growing up in the South versus LA. So I feel for her. But yeah, I thought she had a really unique voice, beautiful. I would love to hear her sing some Eva Cassidy, what was the song? Like when I heard her sing Fields of Gold, that I was like, oh, I hope she does this at some point. I got that vibe from her.
We'll call Gwen.
Yeah.
She's on Team Gwen. This was the one where Gwen and Blake were head to head for her, and it kind of seemed like this was the one where Blake kind of like put his hands up a little.
Well, sometimes you have to do that in a relationship.
As a man,
Tell us how you really feel.
Exactly.
Fine, I'm not gonna fight.
Yeah, sure.
pick your fights. But yeah, she was great. I'm excited to see where she goes. She's definitely one to watch. I agree with you, Natalie. Next up was Brandon Martin, 25-year-old from Kentucky. He sang "Here's a Quarter, Call Someone Who Cares" by Travis Tritt, I believe, and he reminded me a bit of Sundance Head.
I was thinking that. I was
even just his
thinking
backstory.
Right.
What do you think of him?
Yeah, no, I thought it was good.
He was good. He unfortunately didn't get any chair turns, which I actually wrote a question mark next to because I was a bit surprised. I thought that.
I think we were too as we were watching. Yeah,
he was definitely good enough for a chair turn. I just think that maybe Blake, who I think would have turned from him in the past, was kind of like, I've done this before and I want to maybe branch out a little bit. What do you think?
Maybe, I don't know. I think that could have been it, but
he seems very similar to Sundance, which is what Blake won with 3 months ago.
Right. Yeah. Like you're saying, very similar. And I think, was it Gwen or somebody said it, or Adam, somebody said they were too busy looking over
to see what others were going to do.
Blake to see what he was going to do. What he called him? Cowboy dimples or something hilarious to that effect.
I think that they were looking to Blake for that like country, like, is this guy good? You know what I mean?
That
Which
validation.
sometimes they feel like they do that with Alicia too, with some of the soul singers. Like you hear them singing, they're all like looking at Alicia to see if she's gonna turn.
Yeah.
Which I get, but
well, I think even the singer himself was shocked.
Yeah, he
like,
seemed a little shocked. He didn't.
It was a good performance. But I think that they were just looking for something great at that moment, and not just good, but great. And I got what they were saying when they said that he didn't really sell it, didn't really, there was just that that X factor that was kind of missing.
There's only so many spots in their team, you know, and
Right.
I think they have to keep that in mind.
It was good though. It was good.
It really was. It was just, I can't think of anything wrong with it.
He also just like he looks so cute. I just wanted to go
was.
give him a hug
I
and
know.
What wrong with that hat,
sing
though?
some banjo.
What
like
was with
sing
that hat? Have you ever seen a hat like that?
It was funny. Adam
I-
said he like made Blake look city boy, like not country.
I saw a guy outside of 7-Eleven over here wearing a hat like that, and then he
Should
had
we
a
get you one?
he had a little headlight on it, and he was
I
telling me.
saw him last night.
Yes, we were both at 7-Eleven. Remember, we were there at the same time.
It's going down at the
I talked to
7-Eleven.
him. I talked to him, and he said that he was going to be the ruler of the universe, and that he was born for a higher purpose. All sorts of stuff.
We'll bring him on.
Didn't the hat look like something like that?
Danny.
Sorry.
Where are we going? Back to The Voice.
Yes.
We're getting a little sidetracked here.
Back to Planet Earth. We had Mark Isaiah up next. He's 19-year-old originally from New York, then now lives in Pennsylvania. He used to struggle a lot with his weight. He spoke about that a lot. He sang Shawn Mendes's Mercy. Which we spoke about it a little while we were watching. He sounds a lot like Shawn Mendes, which can't decide really if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think for the blind auditions, it's a good thing, but I think down the road, I hope he kind of creates his own sound. Gwen and Adam both turned. What did you guys think of him?
I liked him. I thought he was very confident. That's like the first thing I thought as soon as he walked on stage. Definitely a pop singer. Pop category, like he's gonna nail it in pop. And I like how
did he choose? He chose Adam.
Yeah.
He chose Adam, which I
Yeah,
think is
Gwen
good.
was really fighting.
I think that was a good fit, though,
really fighting
for
him.
pop with
Yeah.
Adam. You know,
That was a good choice. I mean, because you said who was the original singer of this song?
Shawn Mendes.
Okay.
another
So-
young. I think they're
Shawn
the same
Mendes.
age.
Yeah, and so I thought he did a great job. I know he also said that his first kind of taste of the industry was he won a Justin Bieber
Oh,
singing
yeah, that was cool.
contest,
Cool
and I
story.
heard a little bit, and so I'm kind of wondering. Like he just seems to match with a lot of like other common pop
Young pop.
male pop sing, but I think he could totally be like the next. He's so marketable for that next
Yeah,
kind
he's
of
cute,
like.
too.
He's adorable, like
Yeah.
those dimples. Like he's 19. Give him a few years.
Yeah.
Watch out. Like,
Watch
No,
out.
the young girls.
Totally.
I mean, there always is that. Like, do you remember Zach Sebo when him and Emily Ann were on it together? Like the young like pop kind of or country singers, like they definitely attract a really large audience, and there's going to be those young girls watching that will love him. So
Yeah.
it'll be exciting to see where he goes. I think Adam was a great choice for him. I think it'll be fun to see what Adam can do with a young, fresh talent like that.
yeah, and I thought he was so comfortable in his skin, considering he said that he just recently lost 40 pounds.
Which is huge for someone so young.
Yeah,
That's
and I
fantastic,
loved his
yeah.
honesty when
And
they were
it's so
like,
huge to share it.
yeah, like have you performed? And he's like, no, with my weight before I never really could. So considering that he doesn't have any
They said,
experience,
that's a big deal for people watching too.
Yeah.
Similar to the domestic abuse, like there's gonna be kids watching that are like, you know what, I can do this. I can get healthy, or I can be brave
Yeah.
and get up on stage no matter what I look like. You know, so
It was neat
nice.
because he wasn't trapped in the old story,
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was able to say it and share that, and that was really cool. And it's true. I mean, when you do something like that, it makes you feel younger, or makes your life change. You know, it's like it's really
Yeah, it was
yeah,
special.
especially at that
feels
age.
younger.
That's
Did
gotta
I
be-
did I say that? Yeah.
It was good.
Oops.
Up next was
Anyway.
Brenley Brown. This was the youngest we saw of the night. So we found out that this season, The Voice is allowing younger contestants. The cutoff, I think, used to be 15, and now it's younger. So this
13 now,
This
yeah.
contestant, Brenley Brown, was 14 from Apple Valley, California, and she grew up on a ranch. She's very like hands-on with the animals and everything. She sang "Stupid Boy" by Keith Urban, which I think was kind
Love
of a
it.
fun. Yeah, it was like a
She was
fun.
very cute.
I love when like the
adorable.
females cover those like male songs, you know. And Blake and Alicia both turned for her. Would y'all think?
Brentley's one of the ones I think I'm going to be rooting for.
Her
I
energy
really
was,
liked her.
Her energy was infectious. Like how
Yeah.
excited she was.
Yeah.
And she grew up on she grew up in the country. She knows work ethic, so you know she's gonna listen to the coaches.
Yeah, I also got a very like the original Taylor Swift vibe from her,
Oh,
with
I
like
see
the
that.
white dress and the little
Yeah,
cowgirl boots
curled
and the
hair.
long
Loved
curly
it.
hair.
Yeah.
The hair looked beautiful. The
Yeah.
dress was perfect.
It
I mean,
was.
it was really a neat,
really was.
beautiful dress.
Yeah, she just
Full
seemed,
package.
And she's just a little cutie. She's got this cute, naive, brand new, like she just popped out of the womb attitude, and she's like, you know.
She has that Emily Ann Roberts spirit from
Yeah.
a few seasons ago. I think Emily was on season 10 of The Voice. But yeah, and Emily's had a lot of success and was on Team Blake also. So I think it's exciting for Blake probably to have another young, fresh talent like
And
that.
I also thought of your friend from last season, who was the girl.
Darby?
Darby, yeah. I thought a little bit of Darby.
Darby. We
Just
miss
the,
Darby.
Yeah.
Your friend. Your friend Darby.
You guys, love Darby. Shout out to you, Darby. We
Hey,
miss
Darby.
you. Come back anytime. Darby has new music out. Just
That's
a
it?
quick
Go
plug for her. I'm
Darby.
pretty sure Darby has some new music. Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for her.
No, but I thought Brenley had a really mature voice, and like a really interesting like level of vibrato to where I kind of went like, is it too much? No, it's just natural. Like I really liked it. She has a cool voice for, especially for 14. So.
Right. And she almost didn't get any chair. Like it happened right at the very end.
Yeah.
Which I think was probably nerve-wracking for her family.
Well, it's got to be, and for her too. I mean,
nerve-wracking
imagine
for me.
seeing no chairs,
I
sing.
got nervous. For me
Yeah, look
watching,
at
I'm
her.
like
She's
sweating.
freaking out.
Is it gonna happen? Because I like her.
And then next up, Shawn Christian, the 31-year-old from Philly. He had a really nice story. He was the caretaker to his grandma, which I thought was really sweet. He sang "You Are the Best Thing" by Ray LaMontagne. I can't pronounce that last name. Ray LaMontagne. An amazing song. I thought it was a great cover. He got no chair turns as well. I think this show always throws me for a loop because we always see very talented people not get through, which always kind of bugs me out because I remember back to the American Idol days when the people who wouldn't make it through were like laughable. When on The Voice, it's like the most talented people aren't making it through, which is wild to me. So.
Because they really vet them out.
Yeah, they really do. And this show is
stage.
such an uplifting, happy show, rather.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to, it's a feel good.
But what seems strange to me is that it's not strange. It's just that like they're willing to work with an artist that has a lot of work to do. But if the artist is pretty good, but they have a few faults in their game, they seem to not turn.
Yeah,
for
it's
those
interesting.
People. That's my take on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I looked over at you at one point because I thought it was a boring song choice. I think if you
agree, I didn't
only
feel
get
it.
90 seconds, those better be the best 90 seconds that
Right.
you can be throwing out. And
It was like on the opposite end of the spectrum from Natalia. You know what I mean? Like it was like she kind of threw all her tricks out, and I feel like we didn't get to see enough of her.
So she overwhelmed
Yeah.
and he underwhelmed.
Yeah.
boring song choice, and it was a little off towards the end. And I'm sure that was nerves because people weren't turning around at that point.
Yeah.
So I can imagine what's
gonna
going through your
freak out,
mind
yeah.
at that point, But
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer to see him go away, but I feel like someone like that we may see again, you know?
Yeah.
I always like to think with these ones that don't make it through, we always see a few every season come back, so.
And that's what's good to see those people come back
I love
through.
it, yeah.
It's like,
So some of my
cool.
favorites, have come
Because
back.
they're getting
so.
advice from some of the best in the business.
Yeah, they are. They are.
And then they can watch the after show and get more advice from
Right
some
here.
of the best in the business.
Yeah, some of the best fans.
We
have an open spot right here.
Yeah, we have an open spot right here. Did you point to me?
no, I meant this open.
No, you
right
pointed
here.
to me.
Right here.
We have a full
Right here.
couch.
Can we get a wide
I'm just
shot so
batting
we can show
1,000
people?
tonight.
She's like, we got an open spot right there, buddy.
No, I meant this lovely opening right here.
All right.
Thank you.
And then the last one of the night was Felicia Temple, a 28-year-old from New Jersey. She has a really beautiful story. She is a full-time nurse, which I feel like her empathy was just like so contagious watching it through the screen. And she was diagnosed with cancer.
I don't know why.
She was
sorry.
she was diagnosed with cancer, and her dad has this like dual lifestyle as well, where he's the police officer and musician. So it's kind of nice for her to have someone to mimic in the sense that she could be like a nurse and a musician, still has that creative outlet. She's saying "All I Could Do Was Cry" by Beyonce, and to cover the Queen is a feat in itself. And she said she was the one that goes by Felicia Keys.
Felicia Keys.
And she
I
had that
love
amazing
that.
moment where she got to sing with Alicia.
What
do you guys
an
think?
incredible moment. First off, I love her story.
Yeah, as do I.
She thought that she would never be able to sing again. And I loved her voice. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was incredible. The moment with Alicia and Felicia moment,
So cute.
that
Alicia and
almost made
Felicia.
me cry
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
think about it. Like, this is someone that you've idolized for so
Right, no kidding.
long. She calls herself Felicia Temple calls herself Felicia Keys. She's done all her songs.
Little weird, but
No. Well, Blake was like, no one's ever called themselves Jake Shelton.
Exactly. So I just thought that was such a beautiful moment. It gave me chills. I wanted to cry.
I loved it.
I really liked it. She was my favorite of the night.
and how insane is that in an impromptu moment like that she can even hold it together and still perform.
I would have been
Yes.
like shaking.
And
Yeah.
they had harmonies going
Right.
on. Like
They
it
did.
looked like it had been rehearsed. I mean, I know it
Exactly.
wasn't, but
Right. I mean, that's not easy to do. That
Maybe it
takes.
was.
Yeah, no, but it takes.
Sometimes I question. I don't know.
It
Was
takes
it
chops,
rehearsed?
right?
was it rehearsed?
TV?
We have a scoop. We have a scoop.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. Half the stuff you see on TV, I realized that after watching The Bachelor that nothing on reality TV is real.
What?
What?
It's like Santa's not real.
Well, hold on a second. Hold
What
on
are
a
you
second.
trying to tell us?
You work for NBC. Can you really be saying this on air?
No, I'm just saying. I genuinely I don't work for The Voice, so I don't know. But I wonder if there's any sort of rehearsal for something like that, because how amazing they sounded. If there was none, like, honestly, like, bow down, because that sounded spectacular. But regardless, she chose Alicia, obviously. This is kind of like when Gwen and Blake were like, well, we're screwed, because she just kind of owned the show.
Yeah, who's your coach, right?
So yeah, she went with Alicia. I think her and Alicia are going to be a great pair. It kind of reminds me of like Miley and Darby from last season, how they really hit it off right from the start. I feel like Alicia and Felicia are going to be like a power couple. They really are.
It's kind of weird.
Is anybody else waiting to, I don't want her to leave, but is anybody else like, bye Felicia?
Oh,
I know, I was thinking about that too. That's what popped in my head. I was like, bye Felicia.
I was just waiting, like, why hasn't that been referenced?
No, it's going to be hashtag
maybe
all
when
over
she
the
walks
place
out
when
with
the
the
time
trophy.
comes.
Right, Alicia.
Hashtag.
Okay, so let's kind of do some predictions, like favorites of the night that we think are going to go far in the competition.
Your AfterBuzz
Predictions.
Anyone
You?
kind of stand
Anyone?
out in particular?
Well, obviously, we just talked about Felicia.
You think she's gonna
But
she's
so
gonna
now, after that, I really want to know, since she started that high, she set the bar really high for herself, so what is she going to bring next week, you know?
Maybe a little too high.
No, I mean, I hope not. I hope she keeps bringing it.
She has some more tricks up her sleeve?
But yeah, now I want to know more.
Yeah.
So obviously she was a favorite.
Do
and
we see
then-
her next week though, or is it a whole new round?
Not
We don't
next
see her
week.
for a
Oh,
while.
the next chance.
Battles.
Yeah, there
Battles,
we go.
yeah.
And then I also loved Jay Chosen.
Yeah.
So I think it was awesome. They started it out strong. They ended it
Yep.
strong. Coincidence? I think not.
Sounds rehearsed to me.
with like amazing stories. Like I didn't think I would ever sing again. And yeah, those are definitely my two favorites. Jay Chosen and Felicia.
those are your favorites? What about
Love
you?
them.
Yeah. No,
Yeah?
Jay Chosen for me. I just thought to open up the show with somebody that strong really blew me away. I wasn't expecting it, and he rocked it.
Good song
and
choice.
then just has to throw out that he works with, you know, what was it?
Yeah,
With disabled people. Is that? Oh,
he's
and
a
by the
teacher.
way, I work with disabled people, only making him so hot and smoldering and
Lovable.
like everything that you could ever want. Yeah. I thought
And
it
he's
was
saying
my-
sexual healing. So
And he sings
Yeah.
sexual healing, right? Which shows that he's like spiritually wise and he's going to heal you sexually and he works with disabled people. My
this
God.
is perfect.
He's the full package.
I love it.
And then I think my pick is probably for purposes of being different. I want to see what happens with Mark Isaiah, the one who covered Shawn Mendes,
Yeah.
19-year-old. I think that the young artists sometimes come in and sound very cover artisty, but are able to kind of find their own voice throughout the show with the proper coaching. And Adam, I think, was a really right choice for him because Adam has so much experience with young people, with this show, and with his genre, that I think he really could be one to watch. So I'm excited to see what happens with him and with all these artists from tonight. I think it was a really fun start to season 12.
It was a great start.
Absolutely.
It was a great start.
I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite because
Yeah, it
they're
really
all so
was.
different
They
and
were
all so
great.
talented. So
It was definitely a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see who else comes in this season. I hope we have some more returning faces. I hope we have some new big stars. I mean, again, I love when a season doesn't start off right away with like, this is the person that's gonna win. You know, I
Yeah.
like when we get to mix it up and see a lot of diverse talent, and I think we really did across the board tonight. We kind of had all different genres from the first
I think we're
episode.
going to see a lot of talent this weekend,
Yeah.
or this season.
So the way I think tonight's episode, I think, was cut off a little bit by the presidential speech. So I think we're going to pick up next week with tomorrow night's episode and then next week's episode.
Isn't that the story of our life here? What last
Always,
season?
yeah.
What was it? We were cut
we
off
had
by...
the election last
We had the
season.
election last time.
You know, election
Right,
night.
yeah.
That power episode where they kind of cut 6 people in one night and everyone was crying.
I can
Very
never get
stressful.
over that day.
I was like, if I think
still
about it,
traumatized.
if I think about it, I like have to like change my outfit or something. It starts to make me sweat. It's like that night was
She's
very
such
stressful.
a Trump fan.
No.
But, so...
No, we were
this one.
traumatized from how quickly
us
those
how you really
performances
feel.
went.
Ooh, that was very traumatic. But yeah, thank you
But
guys
with the
so
live and eliminations.
Yeah, live eliminations was too much. But
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for tuning in. If anyone wants to continue the conversation about all of this, please do. Where can they find you on social media to chat?
absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Brooke Lacey, and you can find me on all social media at Brooke Lacey H.
And I'm Nataly Tavidian. You can find me everywhere at Nataly Tavidian. Nataly with the
Hamburger
Y.
and the Minion. I'm Chris Howard. Reach me at Chris Howard Live on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Dani Golub. You can find me everywhere at Dani Golub. It's been a lot of fun. Very excited to see where this goes. We're happy to be back for season 12. See you guys soon.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.